of our revolution. And I want to welcome all of you to our live Organize to Win town hall. We've got over 10,000 progressives joining us tonight on the phones and right here in the Zoom room. We are gathering together because we're united in a mission to organize to win a more progressive America, an America that puts people over profits, an America that lives up to our democratic ideals. At our revolution, we've got an inside-outside strategy to win social and economic change. On the outside, we're mobilizing the grassroots to rise up and fight for progressive policies, from raising wages to winning universal health care. And on the inside, we are doing the work to elect progressive champions who will fight alongside us, alongside our movement at every level of government. And that's why tonight I am excited to announce that we're going to officially kick off the 2024 election season. Starting right now, we're organizing to accomplish 3 strategic priorities. Number 1, we've got to go all out to defeat Trump and the radical GOP. Number 2, we've got to take back the U.S. House. And number 3, we've got to send Bernie more allies in the Senate and take out enemies of progress like Kirsten Sinema. The first big contest of 2024 is California. And that's why in just a few moments, we're going to be hearing directly from United States Representative Barbara Lee on her historic campaign for the U.S. Senate. Brothers and sisters, Barbara has been a true progressive movement leader. I've had the opportunity to know Barbara for over a decade, and she has been in the trenches with our movement. She's been in the trenches to take on corporate power and to fight for peace and justice. Barbara has stood on the right side of history, even when that meant standing alone. We all know about Barbara's lone prophetic vote against the disastrous invasion of Afghanistan and her courageous stand against the military-industrial complex. But what you may not know is that Barbara Lee has been a consistent progressive fighter for working people. And she's been a thorn in the side of the corporate class for decades. And don't just take my word for it. A report card by govtrack.us shows that Barbara Lee has the most progressive voting record in Congress. Not only that, Barbara Lee is also one of the most effective progressives in our nation. She has passed over 100 pieces of legislation during her time in the United States House and as she served in the California legislature. Let me break it down. Barbara Lee was the first to introduce a single-payer health care bill in California. And she is an original co-sponsor of Medicare for All in Congress. That is one of our movement priorities. Barbara was one of the first to fight for 15. A decade ago, when I led the first strikes of low-wage workers in Washington, D.C., Barbara was one of the few Democrats who joined workers on the picket lines. It was her, it was Bernie Sanders, Keith Ellison. It wasn't the Democratic establishment. Barbara is also one of the first climate champions. She has long opposed taxpayer-funded giveaways to big oil, and she's pledged not to take money from the fossil fuel industry. And Barbara is a champion for America's women. She authored California's Violence Against Women Act because she had the experience of coming out of an abusive relationship. She leads the Congressional Pro-Choice Caucus because she had the experience of having to go through with back alley abortion. And she was one of the first public advocates for LGBTQ people, writing California's landmark Hate Crimes Reduction Act. Barbara, in her career, has worked closely with Bernie Sanders. In fact, they co-founded the Congressional Progressive Congress back in the day. And Barbara and Bernie are still progressive partners. They just introduced a bill together to tax the rich. While other politicians seek the limelight, I'm going to tell you, Barbara Lee is focused on doing the right thing for its own sake. She's not seeking fame or fortune. This has never been about her. It's always been about getting things done with us and for us as a movement. And that's why Barbara has earned the most endorsements from her progressive colleagues, our movement allies. The people who are in our corner include Pramila Jayapal, chair of the Progressive Caucus, Bernie Sanders, 2020 co-chair, Ro Khanna, the CPC PAC co-chair, Representative Mark Pocan, squad members Ayanna Pressley, Jamal Bowman, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. The list goes on and on. Movement elected officials are in her corner. And based on the conversations that our team has had with our revolution supporters in California and around the country, it is clear that Barbara Lee is the candidate of the progressive movement in the U.S. Senate race in California. And that's why tonight, brothers and sisters, I am thrilled to announce that our revolution is endorsing Barbara Lee in her race. Barbara does not just talk the talk, she walks the walk, and the progressive movement needs her as a partner in the United States Senate. Barbara, welcome to our Organized to Win Town Hall. Wonderful to see you.
Joseph, let me just say to you, my brothers, this is, first of all, an exciting night for me. And I just want to thank everyone who is with us tonight. And also, let me just thank our revolution, because this endorsement is really what the country needs, what our state needs to make sure that, and Joseph, you're a leader in this movement, which is what it is, to make sure that the climate crisis is addressed with bold, and I mean bold solutions, that we address our democracy and make it real and make sure that not only do we protect and defend it, but that we make it work for everyone. And that, of course, we make the rich pay their fair share. And, you know, that's the only way we can address income and racial inequality, which is really the reason we all know that underpins this, and that's corporate greed. And so, Joseph, I just want to thank you and our revolution for leading not only our revolution, but our movement, because and thank you for that really expansive introduction, because, you know, I've been out there sometimes by myself early on. I mean, even as a teenager, fighting for progressive values and for progressive change. And I'll mention that. But I want that this means a lot to me. And I'm so pleased that all of you are here tonight. And also my colleagues who are in Congress issues, our Attorney General, who I miss tremendously, but who's leading. It's just heartwarming and humbling to be with us tonight. For those of you who don't know me, yes, my name is